Okay, hey guys, listen. I just hit go live from my broadcasting software and it told me that it just like randomly stopped. So, um if you can hear me, see me, all that stuff, let me know in the comments. If you happen to be catching the replay of this, also let me know in the comments. Today we're going to be talking about this simple YouTube strategy for starting from scratch. And what the heck happened, Ecam? Man, totally failed me. I just want to make sure that I'm live in my Facebook group. So I am attempting to simulcast to YouTube and to the Thriving Side Hustle Video Content Creators Facebook group. I can see that I'm live on YouTube, but I don't know if anyone's here and I don't see me in the Facebook group. Yeah. Okay, I am in the Facebook group. Cool. I also had Ecamm all set up to do this broadcast, and it crashed. It crashed. Let me just make sure that audio input microphones. All right. Oh my gosh. All right. This should be a better microphone for you all. I had my iPad all set up to share my iPad screen. And now I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So, welcome. I wonder if I can do that from let's see what happens. No, that doesn't work. Okay. Bear with me for a moment. It does kind of work a little bit. Okay. All right. I can still share my screen with you all. Okay. Back to my notes here. So the simple strategy, the simple YouTube strategy for starting at zero, for starting from scratch. It's really common to kind of think about YouTube and think about how kind of complicated it is. There's a lot of bells and whistles on YouTube, right? You have to create the videos. You have to know what videos to create. You have to do keyword research. You have to do search engine optimization. You have to learn keyword research tools like TubeBuddy or vidIQ. And there's just all these things going on. But what I have been able to boil down for my clients and students and members of the Video Pursuit Society is to just start out keeping it really, really simple so that you're just focusing on the things that actually grow your YouTube channel and grow your audience instead of focusing on all the stuff that makes it overcomplicated that will eventually lead to burnout or just kind of like being bored with your channel. So this is like the time of year where I see a lot, even starting back in December, I had more than normal amount of people contacting me saying, I finally am ready to get started with my YouTube channel. Or, I have a YouTube channel that I have been neglecting and I'm finally ready to, start start using it. And I think it's just really interesting to that even back in sorry, I'm getting distracted by Restream. Even back in December, people were ready to like get started with the new year, So this is the perfect time of year. I feel like it's just natural for people to be ready to start going after their goals and things like that. So why stick to a simple YouTube strategy? One, it prevents burnout. So we're going to talk about the 6 pieces of a simple YouTube strategy. If I can make my iPad work with my screen sharing. Hey, Mark. I see Mark is here. So it prevents burnout, right? Because you're not creating content that people are like that. Well, let me back up. You're not creating content that you're not interested in. I've created a lot of videos on my channel that I was not interested in that topic at all. But I could see just doing keyword research that it was going to perform well. And I regret creating that content because it attracts more people who want more of that content that I'm not interested in. So, the reason why it's important to have a YouTube strategy that you can stick with when you have a full-time job or you have a family, you have a busy life. I don't know anyone who can just walk away from their life to just dedicate 40 hours a week to YouTube. Although I know YouTube creators who that's what they do. Not all of us can do that. I can't do that. And probably if you're watching my channel or you're in the Thriving Side Hustle Facebook group, you probably can't do that either. So when you're kind of taking YouTube strategy advice from people who are dedicating 40 hours a week to YouTube, then they're expecting you to put 40 hours a week into their strategy. That's just not doable. So that's why I focus on my channel, my business, my whole membership program is based around side hustle content creators, people who are starting and growing a YouTube channel on the side to generate some extra income. Maybe it's because you want to quit your job, or maybe it's just because you are already doing stuff that if you just made videos about it, you could be earning income to support the stuff that you want to do more of. So the simple YouTube strategy for YouTube when you're starting at zero, I see in the comments Galam, if I say that wrong. I would not be surprised. I'm really bad at pronouncing names. So I want to share, I got to figure out how to share my screen with you because I had this all set up with Ecamm so that I could share my iPad screen with you. And then, yeah, this isn't going to work. And then Ecamm crashed literally like 3 seconds into the live stream. And somehow, yeah, I can't quit it and reopen it. We'll do this. How can I make this work? Boom, boom, boom. I do not know. Okay. We're gonna do. I don't think you guys will be able to see this if I share it with you. Let me see. Let me see here. Can you guys see that? I don't think you can. Because it's not. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Can you see that? Let me know if you can see my iPad screen. This is exciting. If this works, then I'm really excited. I think you can see it. Yes. Okay, good. Galam. Now I'm going to do it wrong, but I did it right the first time. That's all that matters. All right. So you should be able to see my iPad screen here. This is actually technically not my iPad screen. What this is GoodNotes on my desktop. Hey, Shani. So what I'm going to do here is if I write on my iPad, then in just a moment, it's going to appear on the desktop. The simple, YouTube strategy for starting. You guys get to see my handwriting from scratch, also known as zero. All right. So as this refreshes, there we go. Look at that. Awesome. The simple YouTube strategy for starting from scratch. That sentence is going to finish itself in just a moment. The S stands for spider web effect. Now, you may or may not have heard me talk about this before. The spiderweb effect is both a planning tool and a strategy. Um, and we're going to dive way more into this in the 5-day challenge that I have coming up. That starts tomorrow. So, starting tomorrow, the Build Your Profitable Online Side Hustle with YouTube in 1 hour a day challenge. The link for that is in the description of this video. So if you're watching this on YouTube, it's down there somewhere. If you're watching this on Facebook, it's above me somewhere, but it's vidpromom.com/challenge. It's really easy. I'll even write it on my screen. Hang on, let me zoom in a little bit. Hang on, I gotta fix my thing. Okay, vidpromom.com/challenge. So it's totally free. We always have fun. I know some of you here have already participated in the challenge. I know that Shani has, I think maybe, I'm not totally sure. It's always a ton of fun, and it starts tomorrow, but it is only for 5 days. And one of the things that we dive deep into is the spiderweb effect, which, like I said, is a planning tool. It's both a planning tool and a strategy. And the idea behind it is, if you think about YouTube like a spider web, the whole point of a spider web is to catch things as they fly by. And so if you think about your ideal viewers on YouTube, you want them to kind of get caught in your web of content. You want them to find one of your videos. That always starts with discovering one video from one person, right? They watch one of your videos, they're interested in that topic, and now YouTube knows they're interested in the stuff that you talk about. And so when you talk about those topics, those related topics, those things that that person is going to be interested in, then every time they open up YouTube, they're going to see more of your content. YouTube wants people to watch as many YouTube videos as possible. So when you approach your YouTube strategy with the spiderweb effect in mind, that is essentially what happens. You start attracting your ideal viewers, your ideal subscribers. And if you have a business where you sell a service or a digital product or even a physical product, your ideal viewers are your ideal clients and customers. So when you create the content that is aligned with what they're interested in, then every time they come to YouTube and you have a new video, or even old videos, YouTube does this to me all the time. I open up YouTube, and because I watched somebody's video yesterday, now it's showing me videos from like a year ago that they published that I had not seen before. It's not all fresh new content. Some of it is old, but YouTube knows that it's still relevant to the things I'm interested in as the viewer, if that makes sense. So, like I said, I could talk about the spiderweb effect for days, which is why I created the 5-day challenge that's starting tomorrow, because that's what we're going to be diving into. And if you have any questions as we go along here, let me know in the comments. I'm just kind of like doing this live stream in between laundry and groceries. So the longer I'm here, the longer I get to procrastinate on all that stuff. The I over here stands for, what does the I stand for? Interesting. Oops, now I lost my thing. Oh gosh, where did it go? This is funny. Okay. The I stands for interesting content, which sounds a little bit like a no-brainer. Of course, you should be creating content that's interesting. Why else would you be creating content, right? The problem with the reason why I like spell this out and give you a no-brainer point here for the I is because sometimes what we think is interesting, it's not that it's not interesting to other people. It's that the way we word it, because we're already familiar with the topic or with that niche, the way we word it makes it so that it's not interesting to other people. So, everyone that goes to YouTube, every single person is looking to either be entertained or they're looking to learn something, be educated, be inspired. But it's all because it's all on them. It's all on the user. The user is there for their own benefit. People don't go to YouTube. It might seem this way sometimes. People don't go to YouTube just to support their favorite YouTube creators. There's something in it for them in watching that content. And maybe it's entertainment. Maybe it's just inspiration. Maybe it's just information and to learn something, or they're searching for something, right? So you have to kind of structure your content, your actual videos, the titles and the topics that you talk about based on what people are actually interested in and how they're going to benefit from watching that video. So I simplify, will this be on your channel after the live stream is over? Yes. This video is probably not going to come down. The challenge videos that start tomorrow, 5 days at noon every day, those will come down after 24 hours, and then they all go on an all access page where you can watch them. What tools do you need to start out, Sally? Cameras, mics, lighting. Yes, you need cameras, mics, and lighting. If you go to vidpromom.com/gear, that's my Amazon page that you don't have to make a purchase from Amazon, but it shows you exactly what I use for my channel. And in particular, pay close attention to the things that I just last year in 2020 upgraded to. I got 2 new cameras. One of them I'm using right now. One of them is the Canon M50 Mark II, and the one I'm using now is the M6 Mark II with the Sigma 16 millimeter lens. That's why the stuff behind me, it should be blurry. So anyways, if you go to vidpromom.com/gear, you'll see everything that I use, lighting, microphone, all that stuff. So interesting content. You have to be thinking about what is my ideal viewer going to really be interested in. One really, really, really easy way to do this without even using a keyword research tool or like TubeBuddy. I'm using my TubeBuddy coffee mug right now. By the way, I love TubeBuddy. But without even using a tool like TubeBuddy, if you just go to YouTube and search for that topic, just type it into the search bar, look at the videos that show up in the search results. Look at like the top like 10-ish videos. Are people watching videos on that topic? So you're looking for tens of thousands of views, hundreds of thousands, or even millions of views. And this can sometimes get confusing because people see, well, there's already videos out there on that topic and they have millions of views. And they see that and they're like, well, so I can't create a video on that topic. There's, I can't compete with that. Here's the thing to know from that. If there's views or hundreds of thousands of views on that topic, that means YouTube users are watching content on that topic. So if that's aligned with what you want to be known for and the content you want to create, then for sure you should be creating videos on that topic. But if you open up the search results and you have like 100 views, 400 views, and there aren't really any in that top 10 that have tens or hundreds or millions of views, then you may want to tweak your idea a little bit, maybe niche down, niche up, something like that, to make sure that the content you're creating really is interesting to the people that you're trying to attract to your channel. Okay, so the M. The M stands for multi-platform. Multi-platform. Now, um, what I mean by multi-platform is blog and YouTube. I see whoops, that's a weird squiggly line. I see so many people creating content for Instagram, for example, and their Instagram account is growing, but their email list isn't growing, and they're not able to grow like a monetizable audience because when after they post their content, the content is gone, right? It's like it's gone because of the algorithm. So, once my page here refreshes, is it gonna refresh? You'll see multi-platform blog in YouTube. I'm a huge, obviously, proponent of YouTube content, and there's so many different reasons why. One, I think video is obviously, extremely engaging. But two, because it has longevity, and we're gonna talk about longevity a little bit when we get down to the L. Why isn't this refreshing? Come on. Come on, good notes. Refresh. There we go. Um, so the long-term, long-form content has longevity, meaning if I create a piece of content today, for example, this video that I'm streaming right now, which is streaming on YouTube, but it's also streaming in my Facebook group. So, hi, Michelle. I see you from Illinois. Um, a year from now, someone can find this video and watch it. And it didn't take any extra work on my part to make people find this video a year from now or 2 years from now. And that's exactly what I see when I look at my YouTube analytics, that my top 10 viewed videos, current viewed videos, half of them are from over a year old. Some of them are 3 years old, and people still find those because they're showing up in search results, they're being recommended, showing up on people's homepages because the YouTube algorithm has identified they've identified users that would want to watch those videos. And so with platforms like, I don't wanna pick on just Instagram, but with platforms like Instagram or even Facebook or even Pinterest. Pinterest is like a whole separate kind of beast, but they change their algorithm and their stuff all the time, and I'm in all these groups with bloggers, and they're constantly freaking out about Pinterest. And I don't have the energy to, like, deal with Pinterest's drama, I guess you could say. Um, so I won't pick on Pinterest too bad, but, like, Instagram and Facebook, once you post your thing, your piece of content, even if it is a video, it's gone. It's literally gone. The stories are gone after 24 hours. The live stream, gone, unless you post it as an IGTV video. And it's people don't go to Instagram to search for stuff. I actually, way back when IGTV first started, I had a question about IGTV. And it was just funny. As a YouTube creator, I'm like, I have a question about IGTV. I'm going to go to Instagram and see if I can search to find an answer to that question. Guess what? No, you cannot do that. It doesn't work that way. It's not a search engine. So I went to YouTube to search for a question about IGTV. Does anyone see the weirdness in that? Like, it just makes no sense. It just makes no sense to create content that is literally going to disappear from people's feeds after a day. All the time and energy you put into that content. So I totally recommend YouTube, obviously, of course. And if you want to branch out to another platform, I cannot recommend enough to just start a blog. Start turning your YouTube videos into blog posts. You can do it really easily. Actually, I have a video on this channel about how to quickly and easily turn your videos into blog posts. Um, there's a couple of different ways that you can do it where you can get your auto-generated captions and download those, and instead of typing out a blog post, all you have to do is edit those captions into a blog post. So when I say multi-platform, I think if you have tons of time on your hands, then by all means, turn your content into IGTV videos and Pinterest videos and Facebook videos. But if you're trying to keep it simple when you're starting from scratch, stick with YouTube and stick with a blog, and even the blog is optional. Let me see here. What else do we have? We have the P, which stands for passionate. You should be creating content that you're passionate about. That you're passionate about those topics, because otherwise you're going to get real bored real fast on YouTube, because you're spending a lot of time with your content. You're planning out what's going to be in your videos. You're shooting those videos, you're editing those videos, or you're doing a live stream of those videos like I am right now. But if you get bored, then you for sure are going to get burned out, right? So like the I for interesting content, that's for your audience, right? It needs to be interesting for your audience. The P is like, it needs to be interesting for you. You need to be passionate about creating that content. I usually have, when I first start working with a client or a member of the Video Pursuit Society, one of the first things that they do is start with a list of 100 video topic ideas. And yes, we take those video topic ideas and do keyword research and SEO and see which ones are viable, and then move forward with the ones that are going to make the biggest impact for growth on their channel. But before we get to all that stuff, just the exercise of creating a list of 100 videos is like a litmus test, kind of, for, are you really interested in this topic? Because if you're really passionate about a topic, I just realized I can like change these things around. If you're really interested in oh, dude, I didn't mean to do that. If you're really interested in a topic, then you should be able to come up with 100 ideas. There was once one sort of way to ask yourself. I know some of the people in the Thriving Side Hustle Facebook group that are starting this challenge with me tomorrow had mentioned that they have some ideas for a channel, but they don't really know which one they want to go with. They don't really know, like they can't decide, like it's either this or this, right? And one of the ways that you can figure out which one to go with is to ask yourself, or I'm asking you, if you had to stand up right now and give a 10-minute speech without any preparation on the topic, what topic would you choose? Like, what is like so embedded in your brain or in your heart that you just like have to get this information out there and help people with it? And so that's sort of in the same sort of vein as being passionate about your topics and coming up with 100. Because if you cannot come up with 100 in, like half hour or an hour or a day, then you have to ask yourself why. Like if you get to 10 or 15 and you're like, I'm kind of bored with this, then you're going to get bored after 10 or 15 videos, or probably less, right? But if usually what happens is one video topic idea leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. And when that happens, you can have a list of 100 in no time. And then you know that you really are passionate about this topic or about this niche or niche if you prefer to say niche. The L stands for long-term, long-form content. So we're talking about YouTube and a blog. Like I said a few minutes ago, I think having a blog is optional, but I think it's kind of like you really should do it. But it is optional. The blog is not necessarily going to help you grow your YouTube channel, but it is going to help you get more people into your like overall audience. And especially if you are growing an email list, especially, then a blog is really going to help you out a lot. And you're kind of then sort of doubling up on the search results. When you have a YouTube video on a topic and you have a blog post on a topic and it's the same topic, it's like pretty much the same content, just a different medium, then you're just have the ability to catch people in either search engine, right? Even with Google, your YouTube videos can show up as a Google search result. So you have this opportunity where your videos are showing up in YouTube search results, but your YouTube videos are also showing up in Google search results. And if you have a blog post, there's a good chance that your blog post will show up in those search results also. Shani wants to know, what about just having a landing page and a store? I think if that's all you can do, then do it. That's fine. You won't have blog posts that show up as search results. But if you're growing your email list and if you have something to sell, then obviously you need a place to do both of those things. And so having a landing page and a store, if that's all you can do, then that's all you can do. And so anyways, L is long-term, long form. Quick story. I like to tell this story, so maybe you've heard this before, but a couple of months ago, early last year, this was before COVID, there's somebody that I follow on Instagram, and I always would watch her stories. Like every time I open Instagram, she's one of my first story bubbles, right? And so I'd always watch her stories, and she does like home decor, and she has kids and whatever. Well, I noticed, I like realized one day, I haven't seen her. I haven't seen her on Instagram. I don't know if that ever happens to you, but where you're like, it's not necessarily like a friend or family that you would normally see every day. It's like a complete stranger, and you realize 3 weeks later, oh, I haven't seen that person in a while. And so I went to her Instagram feed. I hadn't seen posts from her. I hadn't seen stories from her. So I went to her feed and I saw that like 3 weeks before that, she and her kids had the flu. And like I said, this was before COVID. So they didn't have COVID. They just had the flu. And so she wasn't on. So she wasn't posting. And because she wasn't posting, Instagram just didn't show any of her new posts to me anymore, because like she was just lost in the algorithm. Like the algorithm literally like suppressed her posts when she came back. I didn't see them. Like I thought she disappeared. And it was just because she was sick. And so like I always have this question when I'm on Instagram: what happens if you get hit by a bus? If your whole entire content plan revolves around you showing up in your Instagram stories every day, live every day, then what happens when you can't do that? You actually don't have a business. Like that's not a strategy, right? It might work to supplement some other content strategies. But when you have a YouTube channel, when you have a blog, either of those things, that content lives on because it's always found in the search results. You're kind of getting traffic to it. So you can get hit by a bus and hopefully you don't die, but you can get the flu. You can be out for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You can get COVID and then just pick up where you left off and likely not really see a dip in any traffic or revenue and so on and so forth. So long term, long form, like I mentioned like a few minutes ago, I don't want to pick on Instagram. I like Instagram. Instagram is great. TikTok, great. But you have to show up there every day in order for it to work for you. So I feel like they're just kind of like there for fun. The E stands for easy. And I'm going to circle that one because this is so important and so overlooked and so like seemingly obvious that you should be focusing, especially when you're first starting out, focusing on content that is easy for you to create. In other words, not stuff that you have to like hire a production crew to create or even have someone else with like holding the camera or like doing something like that. I'm a huge fan, and this totally depends on your niche, but I'm a huge fan of when you're first starting out of creating like tutorial based content because depending on the niche, depending on the topic, it's generally not that difficult to show up in the search results. You find topics that people are searching for, and you already have the knowledge because you've already made a list of 100 video topic ideas that you're passionate about, and you already know that people are interested in this content and watching this content. And so creating some type of a tutorial, a how-to video, a screencast where it doesn't require, it may require editing, but editing a screencast doesn't require as much editing finesse as a face on camera video, a talking head video, because you don't have as much like people notice things. People notice if your hair was like started out like this and then in the next cut it's like this. So there's nothing wrong with that, but it can be kind of distracting for the viewer to be like, oh wait, her hair was parted on the other side. What's going on? The lighting is different, things like that. Whereas like a screencast or a like a crafting tutorial or something where it's just your hands, it just doesn't require as much editing finesse. So easy. We want to create easy videos when we're first starting out, especially if you're new to shooting and you're new to editing, so that you can kind of like learn that stuff, get over those hurdles, and then you can get more complicated if you want to get more complicated. It's completely up to you. So this is the simple YouTube strategy for starting from scratch, for starting from zero. The biggest one, the most important thing here is the spiderweb effect. We're going to dive into the spiderweb effect. We're going to go deep into the spiderweb effect in my upcoming 5-day challenge, 5 days to build your profitable side hustle, online side hustle with YouTube in 1 hour a day. I put the link to that in the description. I just couldn't think of that word. I put a link to that in the description. It's completely free challenge. It's 5 days. It is sign up page looks like. Join the free 5-day challenge and discover how to grow your audience and income online so that you can create more freedom in your future. Oh, don't you just love that phrase? So that you can create more freedom in your future and be your own boss, even if you have a full-time job, a busy family, or think it's too late to get started. So vidpromom.com/challenge. I don't know why, but slash challenge is like a tongue twister for me. I run this challenge a couple times a year. It's always so much fun. You can see what some people have even said about it. There are even people who are signed up for the challenge that have already been through the challenge. There are people that signed up for the challenge that are already in my membership program, the Video Pursuit Society. That is a testament to just how much fun the challenge itself is. It's easy, it's fun, like I said, and it's completely free. So it starts tomorrow. What happens is you get an email in your inbox at 9 a.m. Eastern time every day with a lesson and an assignment. And they're meant to be things that will take you less than an hour. They should take you like way less than an hour, but some people just work at a different pace. So they're not labor intensive, they're not time intensive. So you get a workbook, you have an assignment for every day. You can post your assignment in the Facebook group. And if you're not a Facebook type person, which could well be the case because I am streaming this on YouTube right now, and YouTube is my main platform, of course. So if you're not a Facebook type of person, for the first time ever, I'm going to stream the daily live streams on YouTube as well as the Facebook group. So you don't have to be in the Facebook group or participate on Facebook or show up on Facebook or give Mark Zuckerberg any of your personal information. I mean, if it's okay with YouTube having your personal information, then that's up to you. But so all you have to do is sign up, get the emails. The lesson will be in your inbox every day at 9 a.m. And then I'll be live at 12 noon every day in the Facebook group and on YouTube simultaneously. And everyone just cross your fingers for me that Ecamm doesn't crash next time, because I really need to be able to share my iPad screen, or maybe not. So, what else can I say? Oh, also, we're going to be playing, well, you get a workbook. The workbook is like, I don't know, 11 pages. So there's like there's a different task and a different lesson for each day. I'm just going to make a couple notes on here. Daily live streams, 12 p.m. Eastern, and then 9 a.m. lesson in your inbox. In your email inbox. And so the challenge workbook is where you do your assignment and post your homework. Now, if you are not in the Facebook group, you're kind of like Scout's honor that you do your homework, because there's really no way for you to submit your homework to me on YouTube, I don't think. So, but even if you can't submit the homework, you're still doing the work for yourself, and you're still taking action on building your profitable YouTube channel in 1 hour a day. So, the cruise world. I have done some of Meredith Marsh's challenges before. Great stuff, and definitely learned a lot to help grow my channel. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So what else can I say? Listen, if you have questions, let me know in the comments now before I hop off to go get groceries. Like I said when I first started, the more questions you ask, the longer I'm here, the longer I get to procrastinate on laundry and groceries. And let me just tell you, I don't love doing either of those things. So, and especially after Christmas break, the laundry is going to be insane. So, vidpromom.com/challenge. The Facebook group is completely optional, but that is honestly, that's where we have the most fun, to be honest with you, because everyone kind of helps each other, gives feedback for each other. We have a day where we are focusing on your channel art, making your channel look good. And so in the Facebook group, people can actually see what people's channel art looks like, and give feedback on it, which is perfect. So, yeah. So just to recap, the simple YouTube strategy for starting from scratch, from starting from zero, the spiderweb effect, so you catch your ideal viewers. The goal there is for there it is. The goal there is for, you want your ideal audience to like open up. You want them to basically think to themselves, wow, every time I open up YouTube, I see so and so's channel. I see a video from. You want them to get caught in your web of content, right? Interesting content. You want your video topics to be stuff that your ideal audience is actually interested in watching. And multi-platform, blog and YouTube. Don't be putting so much energy into platforms where your content disappears after 24 hours. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, instead of putting energy into the platforms where your content will live on forever. Be passionate, be creating content that you're passionate about in a niche that you're passionate about, for people that you're passionate about helping or connecting with. Long-term, long-form YouTube blog. The M and the L are almost basically the same thing. But the point with the L really is that you should be focusing your energy on content that lives on for years down the road rather than content that disappears after 24 hours. And create content that's going to be easy for you to create. It's so easy to look at channels that you're inspired by or that you have, you like or you follow, you subscribe to, and their setup is super professional and they have like great lighting and their camera looks great and their editing is great and they have all these like things going on and you're like, I want to create content just like that. Like you can't just get started like that. I mean, you can, but the most important thing is to just get started, not to live up to somebody else's like production expectation. Just get started. YouTube is a little bit of like an art form and a science, art and science. And so with that, you as the creator, you are a creator. You're like the artist in the equation who's using the science of the algorithm to grow your audience. And so if you don't start, then you won't ever get to a production level that you're excited about. And who knows, you may try to emulate somebody else's style and decide, I don't really like this. So you're gonna have to stick with something that's gonna be easy for you. Get the hang of it, learn the platform, learn the creation tools, the shooting, the editing, and start with something that's easy so that to be honest, so that you actually do it. Start with something easy so that you actually do it. All right. So the challenge kicks off tomorrow. If you happen, I know there's lots of you that are here live with me, but if you happen to be watching this video in the future, and the challenge is not going to be starting tomorrow, you can use the link in the description below to get on the wait list so that you know when the next challenge starts. That way, we're not leaving anybody behind. So, all right. Guys, have a happy Sunday. Happy New Year, by the way. I don't know how many days into the new year are we supposed to stop saying that, but it's January 3rd right now. So happy New Year. Yeah. If you want to connect with me, make sure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel, which you probably already are if you're watching this video on YouTube. Hop into the Thriving Side Hustle Video Content Creators Facebook group and join me for the challenge. vidpromom.com/challenge. And I will see you tomorrow. Yeah, thanks for being here. Bye, guys.